Karl, you're not here with me today, but you are here with me in spirit.
Yes.
And are you ready to talk about some more Mass Effect?
I am so hyped to talk about Mass Effect.
So, Karl, I will say, I know I look a little bit tired, and I know, I might be a bit echoey through your speakers at the moment. We're not in ideal conditions today.
Yeah, do you know who else wasn't in ideal condition? Commander Shepard at the start of Mass Effect 2. And do you know what? They got up and they saved the galaxy again.
They had the technology, Karl. We can
did.
do this too.
Like, is there a better line in any piece of media of, to explain away a plot hole? Shepard, I thought you were dead. I got better. Blam, 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 blam.
Shepard, but you're dead. I got better.
And then he just started blasting.
That's the thing. It's basically that meme of I lived, bitch. Just I'm back.
And that's the thing is I say he. I always play as Fem Shep.
Of course, yes.
The better chef, but no disrespect to either one. Either way, they are the badass that saves the galaxy from what we are talking about today, Karl, and that is the Reapers.
The Reapers. Okay, so not exactly the most original idea. Mass Effect isn't really an original sci-fi series, but it does take a lot of sci-fi tropes, and it does something interesting with them.
It's one of those of, a lot of sci-fi shares many traits together, but one thing I will say is I do like the design of the Reapers a lot.
Yeah, they're just like big guns, like squid guns.
Because it was weird to me, I think, the first time I played through Mass Effect, not quite understanding. I think I was 15 at the time, so, bear with little Lucas. But I thought, the Reapers were inside of the Reapers,
Oh, you thought they were ships?
I thought that was a big ship that had something inside, and it's no, I kind of like that the big, giant, spaceship-looking thing is the enemy.
Yeah, it's literally alien. It doesn't conform to any humanoid shape that you would recognize. Every other alien species in Mass Effect, except the Hanar and the Elcor and stuff, generally look humanoid, so you can relate to them in some way, and that's your crew of ragtag group of aliens. But then the Reapers is completely alien and these weird insectoid designs, like Michael Bay Transformers, and they're firing lasers in every conceivable direction at once.
Why is it that we never got a Rachni crewmate?
I would have loved to have a Rachni crewmate. Just be yes, okay, so we're going to go to Vermia and look for this person. What do you think, Rachni? That's great. That's good advice.
How hard would it be to romance the Rachni? That's the question.
Well, that's the thing. When you're romancing a Rachni, you're romancing all the Rachni, which proves that, Shepard is the greatest lover in the galaxy. When you are able to romance an entire species at once.
Get the hive mind going.
That's the one. Connect to the hive mind.
Oh, but, speaking of hive minds, Karl, we've got the Reapers, and they are a highly advanced machine race of synthetic organic starships. And the Reapers reside in dark space, the vast, most starless space between galaxies, and they hide there dormant for 50,000 years at a time before just returning to fuck up the galaxy once again. And specifically just the one galaxy as well. I respect it.
Yeah. And can I just say, the concept of dark space is so fucking cool. Of even in this utopian future, this post-scarcity society where you're able to travel across the galaxy in a blink of an eye thanks to this just world-changing technology. There's still parts of space where it's don't go there.
Yeah.
Where's that? That's dark space. It's do you like old maps where it's here be dragons and there's a dragon on it and it's and they use that to say Reapers. Don't go here. You'll get it's here be Reapers and it's a little cartoon Reaper on the map.
Oh god, and that's the scariest thing, isn't it? Because if you did ever somehow go into dark space and find a Reaper, you're not coming back.
Well, go on, tell me more about the Reapers. I want to know because I am curious. What's the lore of the Reapers?
Well, these giant machines are ancient, Karl. Their true name is unknown, and Reapers was the name bestowed upon them by the Protheans. The Protheans gave them a badass name, to be fair.
They did, yeah, and that's the thing, it makes them scarier.
It's the guest just referred to them as the old machines.
Yeah, they should name them hurricanes. You have sometimes Hurricane Jeff, They should do
Hurricane Sovereign's coming in.
that. Hurricane Reaper. You're not going out during that hurricane, are you?
And yeah, it says the Reapers have little concern for whatever labels other races choose to call them, and merely claim that they have neither beginning nor end, which is badass as shit.
Yeah. Like,
I'd love to make that claim. Like, I don't care what you think of me, just know that I have no beginning or end.
Yeah, just Virgil it. I am the Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah.
Just going to sit on my plastic chair, drink my monster. Come challenge me, let's go. And the idea is like ageless machines. Like, of course, they're machines, but they don't remember when they were built.
Yeah. All they know is that they have some like weird desire to wipe out everything every 50,000 years.
Yeah. And it's like, and that's where like the theory crafting comes in, isn't it? Of like, oh, they must have been built by someone. It's like machines have to have been built, but then they say like they're like, you know, synthetic organic as well. Like, so were they like? So it's the ending of Mass Effect 3, isn't it? Where you become part of the collective, where every
Which colour laser did you choose?
Yeah, and it's just every person like gets bonded with the machines. Like, is that what the Reapers are? Just on like a way like more small scale.
It basically just means that you join the Reapers and all become friends and like hold hands together.
It's a good ending. I would love if the ending was just like just Commander Shepard riding on a Reaper and just crashing it into the council.
Well,
the council would just like burn the children.
Oh god, yeah.
Did you ever rescue the council in any playthrough? Because they spend remember like when you go to that first human colony and they're like, well, who gives a fuck? They're humans. And then it's the end. It's like, no, you need to save us specifically. We're more important. It's like, no, fuck you.
I did one time because the first time I played through Mass Effect, I didn't save them because they were a bunch of assholes. Come back to Earth in Mass Effect, is it 2?
Yeah.
Where like the humans are just like, yeah, we are the council now, and it's like that wasn't the point.
Yeah, that's like it.
Because and then in 3 you go to Earth and they're like, you're at the council. And it's just again a bunch of humans being completely inept and not believing you about the Reapers. It's like,
yeah, it's like it kind of goes against the whole theme of the first game of like collaboration between the races, and it's like when you get to the end, and it's like, yes, now we can finally build a better council, a human council. It's like that's not the point of the game.
Like, no, that's not why I killed the. Well, didn't kill them. That's why I didn't save the other council because they were all like gatekeeping assholes who just saw like the 3 races as better than everyone else, and then humans decide, no, we're now the Alpha and the Omega.
Thing is, isn't that the most realistic representation of what humans would do in that world?
It really is.
Like, you know what? Joe needs to rule this galaxy. Us. The perfect. Like, is there anything more human than walking in with like a fraction of the experience as everybody else and go, don't worry, I've fucking got this.
I'm clearly the one most qualified for the job.
That you don't even know what this like. You don't even know what the buttons on your chair do. It's like, I'll figure it out. Tell me more about the Reapers, though.
Well, the Reapers are actually the reason that the fucking mess might have happened in the first place, just because they built the Citadel and the mass relay network.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they leave it there, like they breadcrumb for sentient racers to discover like the Mass Effect relay, and then kill them for discovering it.
Yeah, and
it's like baiting a mousetrap and then sitting there with a shotgun. Just being like, it's your fault I'm doing this. Like, you put the bait in the trap.
Yeah, so it's basically that technology was designed and created so that they could just continue to have a scheme that harvests the galaxy's sentient life in a repeating cycle of purges that's continued relentlessly over countless millennia. So as you say, they just... Because, you know, when you start Mass Effect, it's believed that the Protheans were the ones that built the Mass Effect relays and the Citadel, and they were this super advanced race. It's like, no, they were super advanced because the Reapers pointed them in that direction, only to then purge them all and move on.
Yeah, it's similar to, like, you know, in the Marvel movies, isn't it? Where, like, Iron Man is talking to Thor, and he's like, you know, by building shit like this, you are opening yourself up to a higher form of warfare. Maybe you shouldn't announce on the galactic stage that you are, like, you know, ready for a fight when you've built, like, one Iron Man suit. There's a similar thing with the Prometheans, isn't it? Or the Reapers, I should say.
Yes, yeah.
Like, once you find this Mass Effect relay, you're announcing to the rest of the galaxy and us that you're ready to try and challenge us.
Yeah, and it's that weird thing, though. Like, I understand that we were able to find and utilize Mass Effect technology, but we essentially take down half of the Reapers with, like, traditional weapons.
Yeah, it did seem like they do go down pretty easy, but we don't really know if they're actually being taken out. 'Cause, like, we see, like, one.
Well,
like,
in Mass Effect 3,
like
quite a few get, like, physically taken out.
We don't know if there's, like, 8 billion of them.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does say here that a Reaper is essentially billions of organic minds uploaded and conjoined with immortal machine bodies. And maybe the machine bodies are or aren't immortal, because we do destroy at least Sovereign, but yeah, so that implies that is each one a mind and there's literally billions of Reapers.
I want to know, though, like, what are the subheadings on this? Is the Mass Effect Wiki we're covering, right?
It is indeed.
What are the subheadings we've got to cover about the Reapers?
Yeah, so we're on MassEffectFandom.com, and we have design, history, return to the galaxy, culture, and notable Reapers.
I need to know about both culture and the design.
Okay, cool.
I want to know about, like, what's the culture of the Reapers? Do they sit around? Do they have, like, festivals? Do they celebrate Christmas? Like Reaper Christmas?
Should I just Google out do Reapers celebrate Christmas?
Do they celebrate Christmas? So what culture could you have if, like, your entirety of your existence revolves around annihilating all life in the universe once every 50 fucking millennia?
Well, that's their culture.
I guess that's their Christmas.
Karl, I scrolled down to culture, and culture says the cycle of extinction.
Culture, cycle of extinction, so like us.
Oh, God.
So it is like Christmas then, isn't it? When you just, like, on Christmas Day, when you crack open a beer at, like, 7 in the morning, it's like the cycle of extinction begins.
Like, bacon butty in one hand, like, Bucks Fizz in the other, 6 a.m, let's go.
Can we get it trending to, like, start referring to just, like, Christmas and the lead up to it and then New Year's as the cycle of extinction?
It's kind of, like, true as well.
Yeah.
Oh,
just on,
God.
like, a macro scale.
It's like, let's eat and drink ourselves to death for 2 weeks until we consider ourselves, like, fat enough that we can start New Year's resolution of, like, I'm gonna be good this month. Oh, so the cycle of extinction, at least for the Reapers, Karl, is not Christmas. So, I don't remember, is Vendetta must be a Reaper as well, but Vendetta explains on Thessia that the patterns concerning the development of galactic civilization and the cycles of extinction are too regular and repetitive to be coincidence. Oh, this is a VI. According to the VI, the galaxy experiences the same paths and conflicts during each cycle. And it says, the same peaks of evolution, the same valleys of dissolution.
So it's just saying, like, yeah, every time sentient life becomes a thing, it almost always does the same shit. They always try and expand, they overexpand, they fight over resources, they start wars, they have petty squabbles amongst themselves, and I guess it's like, a ageless entity like the Reapers, like, all the nuance of, like, individual interaction is lost on them. They just see civilizations rising and falling.
Yeah, and it does say, in fact, that, like, the VI infers that the Reapers are servants of the pattern and not creators of it, something that was largely unknown until Commander Shepard's meeting with the small child itself, the Catalyst.
Is that like the small kid from Mass Effect 3?
Yeah, the little ghost kid that's like, which colour laser do you want to pick?
Like the little kid that haunts me when I'm trying to get my fucking groove on with the Asari in nightclubs.
Oh, dear.
I'm trying to, like, woo the Rachni over to my side, and it's like they're still, like, glassing Earth. It's like, and I've got to grind upon this Asari.
It is one of those video games. It's one of those. It's similar to, like, a Breath of the Wild. You've got one objective, and it's to kill the big bad, and then the amount of side quests that you're on, like, yeah, Shepard's got to get that discount at the shops by doing a side quest. It's like, no.
I guess you can always argue, yeah, Shepard needs it because, it all contributes to the war. I don't know how much Like, getting his dick wet contributes to the war effort, but morale's important, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, and that's why I always see the Citadel DLC as being really important, because it's like, if I'm gonna ask my crewmates to lay their life down, I'm gonna give them one hell of a party beforehand.
Yeah.
And it's not even that big a party, it's literally just bonding with a few drinks by the fire in a nice hotel room.
Just like they needed, the Dead Rising tech to get 50,000 zombies on screen at once. I wanted that, and it's just 50,000 people crammed into Shepard's apartment getting pissed. Like a rave.
And I think it might be the one time in the entire game where I actually like the character of boring, generic, white army man number 2. Do you remember his name?
Jacob or Caden?
Neither of them, the one from Mass Effect 3.
Oh, like the huge buff guy.
Yeah.
God, he's so bored. Honestly, I don't even remember his name. Joe's name I do remember though, Rex.
Yeah, but like I did
Rex's
enjoy the
name.
pull-up competition you have with that guy. But it's the only time I ever found him endearing. Like, to the point where neither of us can even remember his name, despite finishing Mass Effect 3 multiple times.
Yeah, but I can remember like almost every other character's name because they're
I think
all
it might just be
awesome.
like James.
I think it might be James.
But then,
That's the
you've
person
got
whose name is
fucking
Jack.
Rex. You got Garrus. It's like,
Karl,
yes.
Legion. Let's go.
And, obviously, they give him a great reason to not be in your crew in number 3, but the fact that Thane, you only get him in 2. It's like, oh, he's such, like, the cool, silent, wise assassin that, like, everyone falls in love with, and then he's not there in 3. He's just, like, dying in the hospital. It's like...
We can cover Thane Krios on another Wiki Weekends, can't we? But right now, I need to know more about the culture of the cycle of extinction.
Well, the funny thing is, like, the culture goes down to cycle of extinction, harvesting.
Is there any term more threatening in like science fiction than harvesting?
Oh god.
Because just like the clinical way it's referred to of just like harvesting, like you would like threshing wheat or something like that. It's like, no, these are lives. And it's just all I can picture. It's just them like just scooping up just people and just chucking them into the
They're
meat
all in
grinders.
like the Mass Effect like battery systems, aren't they? Just getting, and then they just get like hosed out of the drain as the bodies have been melted away enough. It's like, oh god.
Yeah, it's like, have you seen the film Nope yet?
No, I have not. Nope.
Yeah, okay.
I would say.
Where it's a UFO in that, and it just hoovers people up, and that's just what it does. He just goes, just like, do you know when you play like Destroy All Humans, and you just get the abductor ray, but you fully upgrade it, and you just fly over like a city block. It's like, that's the harvesting.
Oh god, and I find it so grim that if you like let your rescue mission in Mass Effect 2 wait long enough, you go there and the crew that has been kidnapped is just all gone.
Yeah, they're all turning like husks, aren't they already?
Mm-hmm. And it's like, oh well, they got kidnapped like missions ago, Shepard. Of course they're dead. It's like, oh, and that's one of the only times games give you shit for basically taking your time when there's meant to be like a critical mission going on.
Yeah, like you get punished for doing too many side quests.
But it's not as punishing as, making sure like the named characters all have got their loyalty missions done, because then you're fully, like the crew that you've built a relationship with, they die instead.
They missed a trick not putting like a member of the named crew in that bit. So you'd like,
if Garrus got kidnapped, nobody would
them.
wait 1 second.
Yeah, you wouldn't go. Well, sorry, we need to level up.
It'd be like, no,
I'm not leveling up
right now. Suicide mission, let's go.
The thing is, though, if you left Garrus there, you could leave him for like 50 missions. You come in and he'd just come out leveled up. Like you just walk in and he'd be just like he'd be stood on top of a mountain of Reapers with a sniper rifle. Like, and what?
He's like, guess what? I got a better sniper. It's great.
Like you go in, it'd just be like level 50. It's great.
That was one of my favourite things, is giving the like collector sniper rifle to Garrus.
No, he loves it.
I think you can do that, can't you? I can't remember. Like you gave him, I got a really good sniper with Garrus, but I loved also just using the collector weapons. They all just hit like a goddamn truck.
Yeah, I always love that as well. But like one of the things about Garrus is that when they were doing like feedback for Mass Effect 1, we're gonna make Mass Effect 2. We want to make it more of the same, like bigger, better, more bombastic. And they asked a bunch of like female players about, so is there any like romance options that you'd like Garrus? Every female player like, I want to bang Garrus. It's like, really? You don't want to sit up Garrus? Let us romance Garrus.
Because that was like 2 critiques, wasn't it, in the first game with romance options of like, you couldn't have homosexual relationships, I don't think, in that one. And you also couldn't romance Garrus. And everyone was like, give us fucking Garrus.
Yeah.
Literally fucking Garrus.
Oh, but then when what's the design of the Reapers about that?
Well,
so
yeah,
it's really difficult. They do have a distinct silhouette, but it's like I'd say Giga-esque in that it's like incomprehensible. It's like all angular. It's like just like this weird. It's more like not as biomechanical as Giga's stuff, but it's in a way it's like incomprehensible to the human eye. Like trying to figure out like this blend of synthetic and organic.
That's just a fish, Karl.
Just a big old fish.
In terms of physical design, Reapers bear superficial resemblance to a cuttlefish or squid, with a bulky, semi-cylindrical body, a tapering plate over the rear, and 5 tentacle-like legs or arms extending from its front end, in addition to 6 joint legs extending from its body.
Yeah, and that goes into a lot of like Mass Effect's design, where most of the racers were inspired by an animal of some kind. Like I mentioned Gara, Turian, they were all inspired by like birds. And,
but like that's the thing is that they find a really fine line and straddle it so well of like these look a little bit like cuttlefish, but they also look nothing like cuttlefish, and they look like their own unique cool design.
Now, they invoke the imagery of a cuttlefish, but they're not just a cuttlefish made of metal. It's like just the imagery of one. Same like the Turians, where they evoke the feeling and imagery of a bird, but they're distinctly their own thing.
Yeah, and same with we've gone over before on Fat Fiend of like talking about the fact that Thane was originally meant to be like this nasty looking assassin lizard dude. Yeah, it's like no, Thane is meant to be like sexy, and that is not sexy. And they found a weird way to make like sexy fish man assassin, which is ironically not the only time like somebody's had to make that character design happen.
Yeah, it was I think the design docket said we need to make it fuckable. Like, you're quite right. Like, this fish man needs to be fuckable, and the way they did it is they made his lips immaculate. We talked about that in a Fact Fiend video once, didn't we? Where it's the design crew for Mass Effect 2 were like, oh yeah, let's make him look cool and badass. And they asked women of like, oh, would you want to date or romance this character? And like, he looks like a serial killer.
Oh, and
name a more iconic duo. Like men who are obsessed with video games and not understanding what women like. I'll wait.
But yeah, it does say here that the Reapers are known to range from 160 meters to over 2 kilometers in length.
That's a big ship.
That's a big ass ship, and I wonder like, it'd be interesting at one point if there's a wiki of like fictional spaceships in range, like in size to one another.
There is out there, no doubt, and it's gonna be something from Warhammer. Like every time you've mentioned it, it's always something from Warhammer.
Because it's like, oh well, Reapers might be 2 kilometers big, but this Warhammer spaceship is like 3,000 kilometers wide. It's like, oh,
actually, no. To be fair, we have got Star Wars, where you've got that Starkiller base, which is a planet.
Well, that's what I was thinking. Is like, how ridiculous do spaceships get in terms of scale? And I wonder if there is a wiki out there for them, maybe for another day.
Yeah, or maybe someone can recommend it in the comment section. Like, is there somewhere where we could go find that? Because that would be an interesting one to cover. Because like, I would want to know, like, it has to be something. Surely there's some thing out there in Warhammer that's like a galaxy-sized ship. Because like it's a quite a metaphorical dick measuring contest amongst like sci-fi creators. Like my ship's the biggest and the most powerful.
And there's a few different designs of Reapers. There's a few subtypes. So like, we're running a little bit long because it's Mass Effect and we could talk forever about Mass Effect.
Yeah, but, those Reapers.
They do. Would you like to learn about Harbinger, capital ship, troop transport, processor, or destroyers?
Gotta be the processor. I want to know about the processor.
The one that has like one sentence about it. Okay.
Oh, okay. Tell me about the processor.
So all it says about the processor is mobile centers for mass DNA harvesting. Like the troop transport, processors lack sentience, being controlled remotely by the actual Reapers. So they're not actually Reapers. They're like the support ships.
So they're just like remote control ships that hoover up sentient beings and just forcibly rip out their DNA.
I presume they're like the ships that the collectors put them all into, yeah. And they're not actually Reapers.
That's a horrifying concept.
Of just, yeah. It is. I mean, it's just basically cattle farming, isn't it? But
yeah,
we're being captured instead, so the humans think it's horrible.
it's an ant farm on a universal scale.
Yeah. And that's the terrifying thing, is just, like, even in Mass Effect 3, it's like when they arrive, just they all ascend on like every important part of the Earth, and just 90% of the human race just almost immediately gets wiped out.
Because what are you gonna do? Like, that's the thing. I never understood, like, when you watch like Independence Day and they have like a city-sized ship. It's like, and the aliens have like 8 million of them. Like, just send that down, remote piloting, and just let it crash land.
That's like the Age of Ultron tech, isn't it? I could just lift up a city and crash it into the Earth and kill you all.
Just drop it on you.
Like, realistically, that's all I need to do.
Yeah, you don't need to do much. All you need to do is, like, blot out the sun for a couple of days and you win.
Although I do like the kind of trope in fiction of having a spaceship, like, or an army of spaceships just completely surround a planet and all shoot a laser into the core at once and just obliterate it. There's nothing left.
So what do you do about that? How do you defend against this?
It's like there's like 50 freezers at once just throwing something into the core of your planet to fuck you up.
Which I think, like, as bad as Independence Day is, it does have one of like the best moments of that, where it's like, we send up like our jets. Mm-hmm. The pinnacle of, like, human advancement, and they just crash into the shield of one of the ships, and it's just such a pathetic explosion. And that's it. $1 billion of military hardware just against the shield of this shit. Like, it doesn't even give a fuck.
And I do love the Reapers, and like, I do love Mass Effect, but it is almost a shame that when the Reapers arrive, any planet is able to put up any kind of a fight. Yeah,
the fact, like, that anyone's built up any sort of resistance is laughable, given, like, the massive technological advantage. Not even the technological advantage, just do you know what they say, like, Batman with planning time can fix anything? They've got 50,000 years of planning time to figure it out.
And they've got, like, better technology than us. They harvest us. They've got collectors on the side. They can indoctrinate people. Like, realistically, they're unstoppable, but for, like, the power of protagonist.
Yeah, they lose to a person in their 30s. With a shit. Like, a person who can't even remember to feed their goldfish.
Oh, God.
So that's the thing about all Mass Effect places. I always forget to feed my fucking fish. It's like, when you go at the end of you finish and you go into, like, your cabin to rest, and, like, Shepard sits down, I look at my fish and they're all fucking dead. It's like, I saved the galaxy.
I bought every fish on the Citadel and none of them are left.
It's like, I saved the galaxy, but at what cost? But yeah, that's the Reapers from Mass Effect in the most roundabout way possible.
It is, yeah, and it's one of those things of, obviously, we've given just an overview of the Reapers, and I'm sure at some point Karl and I will want to talk more Mass Effect, and maybe we'll get a bit more in depth on, like, a specific Reaper, maybe Sovereign or something like that. But for now, thank you for joining, and it's been a pleasure. Mass Effect Mondays forever. This is on a weekend, but still, Mass Effect Mondays forever.
Wiki weekend, Mass Effect Monday. Let's go.